You know, when I used to talk about this shit with some people, they would just say that I'm like kind of delusional and that I can do these things and I can live a normal life and get normal skills and a job and a social life and everything. And I thought, although I know this shit to be real more than anything else in my reality, I almost really want to believe that I'm fucking delusional and insane. I want to like that for some reason is like the most comforting thought in existence. And thinking about it gives me like a level of hope and happiness and just wholesome wholeness that I've not felt in like years. Just thinking about what if I'm insane? What if I'm delusional about everything and it's all not real? That is one of the most comforting thoughts I've had in years. It's given me like a feeling that I just don't recognize. Genuine hope for like a split second. The only thing that can fucking provide that is the idea that maybe I'm insane. And what I'm talking about is a delusion. And so I could do these things. And I just have a very severe mental illness with like anxiety or something. That is literally one of the most liberating thoughts of all time. It's just that. And I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just, it really kind of shows how fucked my situation is. If that's like the only way out for me. It's just like, okay, because if it was possible, if I could achieve these basic things, I would have to been like delusional this entire time, because it's like very clear and more real to me than like anything else that I do not have the fundamental ability to like fucking physically carry these things out. I guess not physically. I could maybe do a physical job and carry it out, but like fundamentally I'm not going to be able to talk to the people or make decisions or be able to carry out the simple tasks or have any skills that require cognition. I know that to be like more real than anything else, right? But like the idea that all of that, and it would have to be all of it, because like it, well, just thinking most of it, at least enough to have it to where I can have basic things in life, that have to be fucking fake and just a delusion. Like, I really wish that was true. I really wish that I just had severe anxiety and it's just exaggerating everything. And sometimes I think that, and I unlock this emotion I've not felt for years of just hope. And it's like, wow, I've not felt this for such a long time. That's kind of scary. It kind of shows that if that's the only place that can come from, just the idea of, oh, maybe I'm psychologically fucking insane. And maybe that's a little fucked. I, man, man, I can feel like my mind trying to convince me that it's real, trying to convince me that I can be normal again. It's just fucking weird, dude. I don't know how to describe it, but it's fucking weird. Like, I feel emotionally right now like my mind is trying to convince me that it is all fake, and I'm fine and I can live normal and I'm not even autistic. Like, I want to believe that. I want to go back to believing that. Like, when I was 13, I was just learning about my autism and I was like still denying it. I feel like my mind just wants to go in denial. It's just like, it's craving it. It's fucking craving it, because it's like, man, that would be the one thing that would make it so I could have any hope. I'm not completely retarded, so it's just like, I really want to believe that. I really want to believe it. It makes me happy to believe that. And that's not something I felt for years. But reality kind of sucks, I guess. At least in this case. Kind of hard to avoid it. Like I've said, all of my problems here are completely logical and just my life situation. You know, if you measure a way to be objectively happy in even the most simple way of having anything in society, of being able to do any hobby or being able to socialize in any way, say it's a very obvious way you can be happy, and that's the way I see myself being happy, that is just logically impossible for me. And so it's the reason I am, well, I'm not really depressed right now, but if I am depressed, it's not going to be because of emotional, mental problems, like an imbalance or something, like chemicals or whatever, but because of the logical circumstances of my situation. So, like, if this is someone who's like starving and diseased and have nowhere to go, they're homeless and they're miserable, that's not because they're mentally ill, that's just because of the situation they're in. And that's how I view my like my sadness about this is like, yeah, it's just the logical result of being retarded and having no ability to do anything. So it's not an emotional problem. It's not something I can fix through counseling. It's not about that. And I remember when my mom was trying to push me to therapy, that's what it was like. It was like, oh, so you feel bad because your anxiety and your depression is making you think weird things. It's like, no, it's the opposite. Logically, my situation is very bad, but I actually feel okay because my mind is delusional. My emotional side is delusional and won't accept the situation for what it is. If it did, if I could think clearly and I did not have emotional problems, I would be miserable because my situation is pretty much objectively miserable. So I remember then that was like one of the only situations where I actually had a chance to explain what my problem was with everything, how it was like all encompassing and like a serious mental problem and not just, some symptom or the other. And I couldn't do it. I mean, this was probably earlier, like maybe when I was 14 or maybe even 13. But I could not fucking explain anything. I just said, oh, I'm retarded, I'm disabled, I can't do anything. And it's true, but it's just like, oh, well, you tried one thing and you couldn't do it because your sensory issues were a bit too bad, but in reality, maybe you can become a fucking computer scientist or agricultural worker. I'm going through like all these jobs he's showing me. I'm like, yep, those are all fundamentally impossible because my mind is broken. But I can't really express that well because I fucking exist in a mental prison where I can't get this shit out. And I don't even know what that means, and I can't explain what that means. But it's like there is something here that hurts me that I don't see anywhere else, that I feel completely lonely with, that makes me miserable, that ruins my life, that I can't let out. I can't get it out. I can't get people to understand. I can't express it. I don't know. I can't express how I can't express it. There's just nothing. just a nightmare that no one understands and that I can't express. So I was just alone with it, and it's frustrating. Because I know that everyone just probably perceives me as a silly retard. You should be happy. Just be a fucking retard. And it's just like, oh, you're just fucking try something else. Don't understand the full extent of this. It's just like frustrating. And kind of lonely. To not have this expressed anywhere. Except in like my own mind. You know, I've always tried to find ways where I could see myself being in a social situation and it being rewarding and it being comforting and it being productive in some way. And I've always tried to think of, specific situations where it's like, they know I'm retarded and I'm a little quirky, but I can provide some kind of monologue on something, because I can at least monologue somewhat. And I try to think of situations where I could have a social situation and it could be fine. It couldn't be not painful. It could be functional, and it could result in a way that doesn't make me look like an asshole. That doesn't just ignore obvious social cues and things that would be important to talk about or respond to or bring up or word correctly. And it could just be normal and not like insensitive or embarrassing or annoying or whatever. And I realize in the end that it is just completely out of my reach. Because even if I try to do anything like express gratitude for something or just, reconcile something or explain something, I do it in a way that's just like spurgy and, over explanative, or what, that's not a fucking word. It's just verbose and kind of confusing, annoying, self-centered, insensitive, again, all unintentionally. It always happens, and it always exists, that the way I speak and the way I communicate and respond and connect to people is broken, and it's always going to be unintentionally insensitive and aloof and embarrassing. People are going to think I'm an asshole. People are going to think that I'm a retard. People are going to think that it's awkward and confusing and just like absolutely just bizarre in such a way where it's just like very unlikable, and also in a very important way where I wouldn't be able to fundamentally carry out a conversation or understand the cues and emotions of a conversation correctly. So I come across as insensitive and just retarded and annoying. And like everything I do and say, even in like the most simple social situations where I'm not like trying to do anything except just reconcile something. I don't know, it's still a disaster. Still makes me super unlikable and just broken. It's completely broken, and it can never lead to anywhere positive. It's just very embarrassing, very bizarre, and very insensitive unintentionally, whatever I say in any context. And so I've really I've always tried to rationalize that, think of any situation where I could have a positive impact socially, where I could be seen as, where someone could connect with me just on a normal level and just think, okay, that's an interesting thing, and they're a good person, and I connect with this emotionally, and I'm able to get something positive out of this. Like, no, I'll be insensitive unintentionally. I'll say things in a bizarre, broken way. I won't get a lot of the emotions and conventions of the conversation, and so I'll talk about the thing I'm supposed to talk about. I'll word it in a way that's really retarded and broken. I'll not fundamentally be able to build a connection because I just can't carry out a conversation or construct a sentence, and it's just all insensitive and all retarded and all annoying in everything I fucking do, in every sentence I make. There's no escaping it. Even if it was just like one fucking message, it's fucking retarded. I can't get past it. Give me infinite time to think of a message to say, and it'll be completely retarded and bizarre. So I've come to the conclusion that I can't contribute positively or be in any social situation without it just being negative for me and for probably everyone else. I cannot be in a situation where people are just going to be able to view me as normal and be able to get in positive back and forth with what I'm saying. It just doesn't happen. I'm sensitive, I'm retarded, it's embarrassing, it's awkward, it's just weird, and I'm just viewed as an absolute annoying retard, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, no matter how long you give me, no matter how much I practice. It's just fundamentally fucking impossible for me to contribute positively to any social conversation or social situation. And that's something hard to rationalize. I always still try to think of situations, but like I said, I'm just repeating myself at this point. It never works. Because, I'll think about it like, oh, what if I'm just explaining this autism and like they know I'm retarded and I'm making that the joke. And I'm just like, hey guys, yeah, this is wacky retardation, and I'm the retard expert, and basically I know I'm retarded and I need to get out of society, but at least we can talk about that. You can all get it, and we can have a laugh about it, and it's whatever. But no, like that's not even gonna work, because I'll say in a way that's way too self-centered, that's way off base of whatever the conventions are at the moment, and it's just gonna be annoying and bizarre and just really uncomfortable and awkward in a way that doesn't work with irony or anything. It's just horrible. So even in a situation like that, where I'm taking advantage of the fact I'm retarded, like it's not going to be good in the way I fantasize. Like I want to have it be romantic in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the outcast, but I can talk about that to people. I'm like, oh shit, you're the outcast. Like, that's kind of fucked, but I guess that's what it is. Nah, people aren't going to understand. I'm not going to be able to express it in a way that people actually know what it is. And people are just going to think it's really bizarre and awkward and annoying, and I'm not going to be able to communicate in a cool way where it's emotional and people resonate with it and people understand it. No, it's just all going to be horrible and self-centered and fucking retarded, embarrassing, in a way that isn't funny, in a way that isn't like something that you can ignore, because it's just going to stop anybody from having a positive resonation with that, or be able to have like a functional back and forth there at all. It's just not going to happen. No situation can I function socially and have it be positive in any way, in a way that isn't an embarrassing, humiliating disaster that's just awkward, weird, and just annoying.